The Coin Lady channel is pleased to have you back. Dear everyone, we have only scratched the surface. We may have finally reached the pinnacle with this Bitcoin ETF, and many of you may share that sentiment. So far, you haven't witnessed anything. Hey there! We're going to play this interview by Brian Kelly. It gives you a glimpse into how traditional finance is looking at crypto assets. They're starting to integrate blockchain technology into traditional financial systems and tokenize the world using blockchain. BlackRock is serious about ETFing everything in their dystopian future. Anyway, he's going to talk about a couple key themes. First, the impact on cryptocurrency demand and price from the Federal Reserve's policy of keeping interest rates high for an extended period of time. The following stage follows. The next step? Bitcoin ETFs and direct purchases of Bitcoin are now available. The question is, where will all this Bitcoin go? Warning, it's going into the wider cryptocurrency market. As an analyst or institutional investor, his current concentration is on Ethereum and Solana, two of the most prominent blockchains in the industry. However, XRP and Cardano will be included at some point. Alternatively, this is going to grow substantially. In addition, the majority of your primary cryptocurrency holdings will be included. While it's true that they can purchase Bitcoin ETFs directly, brokerages now cannot deploy client assets to this asset class. However, that will soon change. Not only is this new tool making it easier for people to invest in this asset class, but investment advisors are also beginning to see more options for how to allocate their clients' money, anywhere from 1% to 3%. Depending on their level of aggressiveness, into this asset class. Even though the Bitcoin ETF is already operational, that is only just beginning to pick up steam. While reckless fiscal policy is possible with an infinite supply of US dollars, this is why everyone is flocking into crypto, a token that cannot be debased. Here we get an opportunity to put rules in place and put code into practice for an hour. Before we begin, we can't predict the government's actions. They might suddenly announce massive spending packages for a variety of countries. This might happen with cryptocurrency, and you're not limited to just one area. This allows you to reach a global audience. Because it's essentially the same as holding the S&P 500, these currencies should become considerably more stable as they gain popularity. That covers every aspect of the US economy. Well, this provides coverage all across the world, and the money starts rolling in. Importantly, you aren't confined to just one area or one fiscal policy. It doesn't imply it's a long-term hedge against all of these difficulties, even if you see a correlation where problems break out in geopolitics. Quite intriguing. It's wonderful to have you on my best wishes list for Brian Kelly, incidentally, but you'd think I'd think it's treated really well. But as the Federal Reserve's rate cuts keep shrinking, and perhaps they're even becoming religious, is it in a better position to trade? Or is it trading worse? That's the fundamental question I'm attempting to answer. Either way, you have the option to offer an argument. However, I will present my reasoning on this. In my opinion, the Federal Reserve has indicated that they are willing to tolerate higher inflation rates in order to lower the debt to GDP ratio. Your purchasing power and currency will decrease, leading to higher grocery bills. Nonetheless, your purchasing power will remain relatively constant. Personally, I don't care if the Federal Reserve claims they won't hike rates to 10% and effectively kill inflation. All that matters is that they don't. If the Federal Reserve keeps interest rates the same or lowers them, Bitcoin will likely do well. After all, there are alternative options. The fact that the Fed has not explicitly said that they will tolerate higher inflation is crucial in this situation. You know, they promise to be aggressive and stand firm, but they haven't raised interest rates since, well, inflation is still out of control. We know this because we look at official government reports, but hey, that's just theory. We're real people, and we know what's happening. The fact that they have paused and probably won't raise it any higher shows that they're willing to tolerate more inflation, which will lower the value of your currency. If they were serious about tackling inflation and having sound fiscal policy, they would have to raise them continuously. Otherwise, they will never be able to stamp it down. Because there is a finite amount of money that can be invested in real estate and stocks, and because those values are also inflated, more and more people will seek out other places to put their investment capital. One promising alternative is early-stage assets, such as cryptocurrencies, which are relatively cheap in comparison to their potential growth. This presents a fantastic opportunity. Even with rising inflation, I don't think it will do too much harm, and I believe people will use it for that reason. We know how to read between the lines. There would be chaos everywhere if rates were raised more, so they will not do that. The strategies that, some people use, for example, these Bitcoin spot ETFs, which you can purchase in an IRA if you so desire, to gain exposure to the market. Do you have any additional ideas on how to play this? Are you of the belief that, in the next 10 to 20 years, this ecosystem will emerge as an alternative to the ETF and Bitcoin purchases? Is it immediately? What else are people looking at when they watch this? Sure, I'd check out the alternative coins. Therefore, if you're looking to invest this cycle, I recommend Ethereum and Solana. These two cryptocurrencies are poised to form the foundation of the new financial system, which will be based on decentralized finance. You may have heard of DeFi, but if you want to know who's leading the charge, those are the two to watch. While mining is a challenging industry overall, there's a lot of capital expenditure, electricity is always a concern. However, that is an additional strategy for manipulating the ecology. The video ends there. Do me a favor and subscribe to my channel. Muchas gracias, depart.